Hi, my name is Beth Azor, and I own shopping centers in South Florida. And this is my podcast, I Own a Shopping Center, Now What? So this week we got a request, which I love. Send me your requests of things you want me to talk about. A friend sent me a request, a listener, and he asked, what do I do when I have a tenant who is coming up on the end of his lease? He's got 2 months left. He's definitely moving out and he's not paying. So, what can I do about it? I don't want to hire a lawyer if it's only going to be a few $1,000s, right? You're going to eat up just in the legal fees, but it's ticking him off that the guy's just going to stay there and let the clock run out and not pay, right? That's terrible. So I recommended a few things. First of all, it depends obviously on the rent. If the rent's $1,000 a month, it's one thing versus if the rent is $6,000 a month, clearly. So, and I would start shopping. I think we all should have our go-to quote unquote eviction attorneys that we can maybe make a deal with if it's not going to be a lot of work. They're not going to take it, to do a full-blown eviction. And there's some companies that I think, and maybe if you guys know this, you can reach out to me, where you can just pay a flat fee to get a judgment. So what I would want to do is, again, if you paid $1,000 a month and it's $2,000, and we don't know how much security deposit the guy's got, I think that maybe he's mentioned that the security deposit equals the last 2 months, and that's why he's just not paying. So he's going to let the time run out, and then the security deposit just pays for the last 2 months, which again is not the spirit of the lease, but you're not going to spend good money after bad. But if it's big enough, so probably if it was $1,000 a month, and if you had $2,000 in security deposit, I probably would just let it go because you're not going to spend a lot more money than that to get nothing, right? Now it's going to be very painful if the tenant leaves the space in major disarray and now you don't have any enough security deposit to cover the fixing up of the damage. So that stinks. But again, you can look into and see if there are some companies in your market that can get judgments. You can also turn them into Better Business Bureau. I think that's what it's called, the Better Business Bureau, and put a mark against his name. And that way, the only way he can get that off, I think, is if he fixes the problem and you agree to take his bad review down. That was one of the other recommendations I made. But in my past, we have gotten judgments against people that owed us rent, probably a little more than $2,000. And they came to our office years later. They were getting ready to buy a house or sell a house, and they had this judgment and they paid up. So that would be my advice on what to do with tenants that are playing this game. I hope it helped. And again, if you have any questions like this or things you're experiencing in your properties that you want some feedback on, feel free to email me, DM me. And then also, if any of you have any comments, have had experience with something like this and want to share what you've done about it, email me that too, and I'll mention that on a future episode. Hope you guys are liking the podcast. Please share, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next week.